You know that feeling when you wake up one morning full of energy, ready to take on the world. You've got your goals written down, your playlist pumping, and you feel unstoppable. But then, a few days later, or maybe even the next morning, that fire fades. The excitement that once pushed you forward suddenly feels distant. You hit snooze, you make excuses, you start thinking, maybe tomorrow. That right there is the nature of motivation. It's powerful, but it's fleeting. It's like a spark. It can light a flame, but it can't keep it burning forever. Motivation is often born out of emotion. You watch an inspiring video, you hear a story of success, or you get that sudden vision of what your life could be. In that moment, your heart races and your mind lights up. You feel ready to change everything, but emotions are unstable. They're influenced by our mood, our environment, even by how much sleep we got the night before. And that's why motivation, while beautiful, cannot be the foundation of long-term success. You can't build a skyscraper on shifting sand. Think about how many people start something strong, like going to the gym in January. The first week, the place is packed. Everyone's determined, sweating, pushing hard. But by February, it's half empty. By March, you can hear an echo between the machines. What happened? Did people stop wanting to be fit? Of course not. They just ran out of motivation. The spark faded, and without the solid structure of discipline, there was nothing left to keep them going. Motivation makes you feel like doing something. Discipline makes you do it whether you feel like it or not. That's the difference. Motivation lives in your emotions, but discipline lives in your decisions. You see, life doesn't care how motivated you are. It rewards consistency. The athlete who trains even on bad days, the student who studies when it's boring, the entrepreneur who works when it's uncertain, they all understand this simple truth. You won't always feel like it, but you must act anyway. Now, don't get me wrong, motivation has its place. It's the spark that ignites action. It's the starting energy, but you can't rely on it to carry you through. Imagine if pilots only flew planes when they felt like it, or if parents only took care of their kids when they were motivated to do so. Life doesn't work like that. The things that truly matter require consistency, and consistency only comes from discipline. Discipline says, I made a promise to myself, and I'll keep it, no matter how I feel today. The truth is, the most successful people you know are not motivated all the time. They're disciplined, they've trained their minds to move even when their hearts don't feel like it. They understand that emotion is a poor master, but an excellent servant. They use motivation to start, but they use discipline to finish. They've learned that feelings come and go, but actions compound. Every time you show up, even when you don't want to, you're building something inside yourself. Mental strength, reliability, confidence. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. So, the next time you feel unmotivated, don't see it as failure. See it as a test. That's the moment where growth happens. Anybody can work hard when they're excited. The real challenge, the real transformation, happens when you push forward even when your excitement is gone. That's when you prove to yourself that you're not controlled by your emotions. You control them. And in that moment, you're not just chasing success. You're becoming the kind of person who can sustain it. Motivation will give you a spark, but discipline will give you a fire that never dies out. Motivation may get you started on your journey, but discipline is what carries you through storms, setbacks, and silence. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who always feel inspired. They're the ones who keep moving forward even when the inspiration is gone. Because they understand something simple yet profound. Motivation is temporary, but discipline lasts forever. And when you master that, when you learn to act even when you don't feel like it, you'll find a strength that's unshakable. You'll stop waiting for the right mood, the perfect moment, or the spark of inspiration. You'll move because it's what you do. You'll create your own momentum. And that's when you'll realize that while motivation may light the path, it's discipline that takes you to the destination. Let's be honest, every one of us has had moments where we've promised ourselves that this time we'll stay consistent. Maybe it's starting a new workout plan, waking up early, studying every day, or finally pursuing that dream we keep pushing aside. And for a few days we're on fire. Everything feels possible. But then life hits. We get tired, we get busy, or we just don't feel that same spark we had in the beginning. That's where most people stop. Not because they don't want it anymore, but because they built their effort on feeling instead of habit. And that's the difference discipline makes. Discipline doesn't rely on how you feel, it relies on what you've built. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, even when you're not in the mood, even when nobody's watching, even when the reward seems far away. It's doing what needs to be done simply because it aligns with the person you're becoming. And that consistency, those small, steady actions, are what shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately, your destiny. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every morning motivated to brush your teeth. You just do it. Why? Because it's a habit. You've done it for so long that it's automatic. You don't negotiate with yourself about it. That's the power of discipline. It turns effort into instinct. When you repeat something often enough, your brain learns that this is just what you do. No debate, no delay, no excuses. Now, let's bring this into the bigger picture. Every great achievement you've ever admired, whether it's a gold medal, a successful business, or a skill mastered, wasn't built in one big moment of motivation. It was built through countless small, disciplined actions over time. The athlete doesn't become great because of one amazing workout. It's the thousands of hours they spent training when no one cared. The musician doesn't become talented because of one burst of inspiration. It's the daily practice, the repetition, the discipline to perfect every note. The truth is, success isn't sexy, it's not glamorous, it's often quiet, repetitive, and unexciting, but it's powerful because discipline creates progress, even when progress is invisible. Discipline is what keeps you moving when your emotions are trying to pull you in another direction. It's that voice inside that says, I made a commitment and I'm keeping it. It's waking up early even when the bed feels warm. It's studying when your friends are out. It's training when your muscles ache. It's saying no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's worth it. Over time, those moments of discipline stack up. They become your identity. You stop being someone who tries to be consistent. You are consistent. The beautiful thing about discipline is that it gives you control. It teaches you that you don't have to be ruled by your feelings. You start to realize that you can feel tired and still show up. You can feel unmotivated and still take action. You can feel scared and still move forward, and that's where real strength comes from, doing what's necessary, not just what's comfortable. Let me tell you something powerful. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for your future self. You're telling yourself, I can trust me, and that's one of the most empowering feelings in the world, to know that you can rely on your own consistency, because discipline doesn't just build success, it builds confidence. It tells you that you can handle life, that you can keep moving forward no matter what the day brings. People often look for shortcuts, but the truth is, discipline is the shortcut. It's the quiet, consistent effort that compounds over time. It's the reason some people seem unstoppable, because they don't stop, they keep going when others quit. They've built the habit of forward motion, and once you've built that, you become unstoppable too. So when motivation fades, and it will lean on your discipline, when your energy dips, rely on your habits, because if you've built consistency, you don't need to wait to feel ready, you just act. That's what separates those who dream from those who do. Motivation might make you start, but discipline will keep you going long after the excitement fades. And when you look back one day, you'll see that every small, disciplined choice you made led you exactly where you wanted to go. You won't remember the days you felt tired or uninspired. You'll remember that you showed up. You'll remember that you didn't give up. And that's what builds a legacy. Not bursts of energy, but a lifetime of consistency. Because in the end, discipline isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become. And that's the thing about discipline. It's what keeps you steady when everything else around you changes. Because let's be honest, no matter how strong your motivation is, no matter how inspired you feel at the beginning, there will come a point when life gets in the way, things get hard, the excitement fades. And that's where this next truth comes in. Progress requires routine. Showing up daily matters more than feeling inspired occasionally. You see, discipline gives you the consistency, but it's your routine that gives you direction. It's the framework that keeps your energy focused, your goals alive, and your momentum growing. Without a routine, even the most disciplined person can lose track of what matters. Routine is what turns chaos into progress. It's what keeps you moving one step at a time towards something bigger. When people think of success, they often imagine big moments, breakthroughs, victories, sudden success stories. But if you really look behind those moments, you'll see a pattern of quiet, repeated action. The writer who produces a masterpiece didn't just have a burst of inspiration one night. They sat down every single day, even when the words didn't come easily. The athlete who wins gold didn't just have one great training day. They followed a routine that pushed them every morning before sunrise. The entrepreneur who builds something great doesn't wait for the perfect opportunity. They follow their process day after day, even when no one's watching. Routine is where progress lives. It's in those small, consistent steps that often feel insignificant. It's waking up early, not because it's fun, but because it sets the tone for your day. It's choosing to practice your craft, even when you feel stuck. It's planning your day so you don't let distractions steal your time. It's these little things, done over and over, that compound into extraordinary results. People often overestimate the power of a single big move and underestimate the quiet strength of daily effort. But the truth is, greatness isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in repetition. And yes, routines can feel boring sometimes. They can feel predictable, even dull. But that's where the magic actually happens. Because in that predictability, you find growth. When you follow your routine long enough, you start to realize that progress doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening, but under the surface everything is. You're building habits, endurance, and discipline. You're teaching yourself to show up regardless of how you feel. There's something deeply powerful about people who can stick to their routine, especially when no one is watching. They understand that success doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be constantly celebrated. It's quiet, it's patient, it's built in the shadows, because when you follow a routine long enough, you stop chasing motivation. You start creating momentum, and momentum is far more powerful than motivation. Motivation asks, do I feel like doing this? Momentum says, I've come too far to stop now. Every time you follow your routine, you're casting another vote for your future. You're saying, this matters to me. And over time, those small votes add up. They become the rhythm of your progress, the beat of your growth. You start to notice that what once felt hard now feels natural. What once took effort now feels like part of who you are. That's what a solid routine does. It transforms effort into identity. But here's the beautiful part. Your routine doesn't just build results. It builds trust in yourself. You begin to see that you can rely on you. You no longer need to wait for perfect timing or a burst of energy. You know that no matter what happens, you'll show up, and that trust is liberating. Because when you have a strong routine, you don't need to fight with yourself every day about what to do. The decision is already made. You just follow the plan, and once that happens, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing quick wins. You start playing the long game. You stop worrying about how far you still have to go, and you start focusing on what you can do today. You realize that real growth doesn't come from massive leaps. It comes from steady steps, and that's why routine matters. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. It's about showing up again and again until the things that once felt impossible become your new normal. So if motivation fades and discipline feels tough, fall back on your routine. Let it guide you, let it carry you through the days when you don't have the energy to think. Because when you commit to your routine, you're not just building progress, you're building yourself. You're proving, one day at a time, that consistency beats intensity, and that slow, steady effort always wins in the end. And that's the thing. You start to realize, the more you show up for your routine, the stronger you become inside. It's not just about doing the work anymore. It's about who you're becoming because of it. And that leads us to the next truth, ***, discipline strengthens resilience. ***, it trains your mind to act despite challenges, boredom, and setbacks. Because the real test isn't how well you perform when everything is going right. It's how you respond when nothing is going your way. Life has this way of testing your commitment. Just when you think you've found your rhythm, something comes along to knock you off balance. Maybe it's an obstacle you didn't see coming. Maybe it's failure. Maybe it's just that sense of exhaustion that makes you want to quit, and that's where most people stop, not because they can't do it, but because they haven't built the resilience to keep going when things get hard. But if you've been practicing discipline, if you've been showing up every day, following your routine even when it's tough, then you've been quietly building something powerful inside you. You've been building resilience. Resilience is the ability to keep moving forward when the excitement has faded and the path feels heavy. It's what allows you to bend without breaking, and discipline is the training ground for that strength. Every time you push yourself to act when you'd rather rest, every time you choose focus over comfort, every time you stay committed even when no one's cheering you on, you're reinforcing that muscle of resilience. You're teaching yourself that no matter what happens, you can rely on your own consistency. It's easy to stay committed when everything feels good, when the results are showing, when people are noticing. But resilience is built in silence, in struggle, in the moments when progress feels invisible. Think about it. Every person you admire for their success didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they refused to stop. The athlete who tore a muscle and came back stronger, the writer who faced rejection after rejection but kept writing, the dreamer who was told no 100 times but still kept showing up, that's resilience. And it doesn't come from luck. It comes from discipline. Discipline is what teaches your mind that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It teaches you that pain is part of growth. When you start viewing challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to prove your strength, that's when everything changes. You stop running from the hard things, and you start facing them head on. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." That's the power of resilience. It changes how you see struggle. When you build discipline, you stop depending on the world to make things easy for you. You stop waiting for perfect conditions, because you realize the world will never always be kind, but you can always be strong. Discipline gives you that anchor when life gets chaotic. It says, even if today is hard, I'll still show up. Even if I fail, I'll try again. Even if it hurts, I'll keep moving. That's not motivation anymore, that's character. And the beautiful thing is, resilience doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you calmer. Because when you know you can handle whatever comes your way, fear starts to lose its grip on you. You stop panicking at every setback, because you've been through enough to know that pain doesn't last, but growth does. You start to see that every challenge is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. Let's be honest, discipline and resilience are not glamorous, they're not always fun. There will be days when it feels like you're moving through mud, when your mind screams at you to stop. But those are the exact moments that separate who you were from who you're becoming. Because every time you overcome resistance, you're not just finishing a task, you're forging a stronger version of yourself. Think of it this way, every obstacle you face is like a weight in the gym. At first it feels heavy, you struggle, it hurts, but over time your muscles adapt, you get stronger, and suddenly what once felt impossible becomes effortless. That's what discipline does. It trains you to lift life's weights until you grow strong enough to carry anything. So when life gets hard, and it will, don't let that stop you. Remember that every challenge you face is building your resilience. Every time you act despite fear, doubt, or fatigue, you're proving that you're stronger than your excuses. You're proving that you're not just driven by feelings, you're guided by purpose. And that's when you'll realize that true power doesn't come from the easy days. It comes from the hard ones, the ones that test you, shape you, and ultimately reveal what you're really made of. Because in the end, motivation may give you energy, and routine may give you direction, but it's resilience, born from discipline, that will make you unstoppable. And you know what's amazing? The more resilient you become, the more you start to understand something deeper. That resilience isn't just about surviving the hard days, it's about showing up for the repetitive ones too. Because that's where real growth hides, in repetition. That's what brings us to the next truth. *** results come from repetition. *** mastery isn't born from sudden inspiration or random bursts of effort. It's built slowly, patiently, through doing the same thing again and again until it becomes second nature. Repetition, it sounds simple, maybe even boring, but it's the quiet force behind every great success story. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, it's that silent grind when no one's watching. It's waking up, doing the work, improving a little bit, and doing it all over again. Day after day, it's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Because the truth is, excellence doesn't come from doing things once it comes from doing things until you get it right, until it clicks. Until it feels effortless. We live in a world that celebrates quick wins and overnight success, but real mastery doesn't work that way. You can't rush it, you can't hack it, you have to earn it one repetition at a time. Look at the greatest athletes, the most skilled artists, the most respected professionals. They didn't become great by doing something big once. They became great by doing something small, consistently for years. The basketball player shooting 1,000 free throws before sunrise. The musician playing the same scale until their fingers move without thought. The writer typing draft after draft until the words finally feel right. That's repetition, and that's where transformation happens. But here's the thing. Repetition isn't just about practice. It's about patience. It's about having the humility to do the same thing over and over, even when you're not seeing immediate results. Because results don't show up when you want them to. They show up when you've earned them. Most people quit not because they're incapable, but because they get tired of repeating without reward. They want proof before they've put in the time. But the truth is, progress is invisible before it's obvious. The roots always grow before the tree appears. Every repetition is a brick, and every brick you lay builds the foundation for something stronger. That's how discipline and resilience connect. They both rely on repetition. Every time you choose to show up, even when you don't feel like it, you're adding another layer of strength to your foundation. Over time, those layers become unshakable. And when the results finally come, people will call it talent or luck. But you'll know it was repetition. You see, repetition is how you turn weakness into strength. The first time you try something new, it feels uncomfortable. You make mistakes, you fail. But each repetition makes you a little better. You start to understand what works and what doesn't. You start to refine, adjust, and improve. Until one day, the thing that once felt impossible feels easy. That's not luck. That's the reward for persistence. The problem is, repetition doesn't feel exciting. It feels like work. It feels like doing the same thing again with no applause, no visible progress. And that's why so many people give up. They mistake boredom for failure. But the truth is that boredom is a sign that you're on the right path. It means you've moved past the excitement of starting and entered the stage of mastery. It's in that repetition where discipline becomes automatic, where habits become hardwired, and where true confidence is born. Confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from knowing you've done something enough times to trust yourself. It's knowing that you can handle it because you've handled it before. That's the quiet power repetition gives you. It builds belief. It reminds you that even if progress feels slow, it's still progress. Because every single time you show up, you're moving forward, even if it's just 1 inch at a time. And when you look back, you'll see it clearly. You'll see that the moments that mattered most weren't the bursts of motivation or the rare big wins. They were the countless little repetitions, the hours of unseen work, the times you kept going when no one clapped. That's what built you, that's what shaped you. So don't underestimate the power of repetition. Don't think of it as doing the same thing over and over. Think of it as sharpening your blade. Every repetition refines you, strengthens you, polishes you. It's how you turn potential into power. It's how you move from trying to become something to being it. Repetition is where everything comes together. The discipline you've built, the resilience you've earned, the routine you've created. It's what turns all of that effort into results. So the next time you feel stuck, the next time progress feels slow, remind yourself, it's not about doing something once. It's about doing it again and again, until the world can't ignore your consistency anymore. Because in the end, repetition doesn't just produce results. It produces greatness. And once you start to embrace repetition, something powerful begins to shift inside you. You stop chasing quick validation. you stop counting the days, and you start trusting the process. You begin to understand that greatness doesn't shout, it whispers. It whispers in the small actions you repeat every day, the quiet discipline that no one sees, and the patience you've built from doing the work even when it's hard. And as that understanding deepens, you begin to see the bigger picture, the truth that *** discipline fuels long-term success. ***, it's not just about getting results today. It's about creating a version of yourself that can sustain success tomorrow, next year, and for the rest of your life. You see, motivation can help you start, repetition can help you grow, but only discipline can help you last. Because the world doesn't reward those who burn bright for a moment. It rewards those who can keep the fire burning for years. And that's what discipline does. It keeps the flame alive when the excitement fades. It's the steady heartbeat behind every long-term achievement. It's the difference between someone who wins once and someone who keeps winning. Discipline gives you endurance. It's not about sprinting. It's about learning how to pace yourself through the marathon of life. Because the truth is, success is not one big moment. It's a lifetime of small, consistent ones. The people who truly make it are not the ones who rush. They're the ones who stay. They stay when it's boring, when it's hard, when no one's clapping, when results are slow. They don't chase quick success because they know that what comes fast usually fades faster. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone reach a goal and then lose it just as quickly? The person who loses weight but gains it all back. The one who builds a business and then lets it crumble. The one who hits a milestone but can't repeat it. It's not because they didn't work hard, it's because they didn't build the discipline to sustain what they earned. Success without discipline is like a balloon without a string. It floats for a moment, but it won't stay grounded. Discipline keeps you rooted, it keeps you humble, it reminds you that reaching your goal isn't the end, it's just the beginning of maintaining it. The truth is, discipline doesn't just give you success, it changes your relationship with it. When you're disciplined, you stop chasing results for the sake of recognition. You start doing things because they align with who you are and what you stand for. You start understanding that the process itself is the reward. You no longer need external validation to keep going. Your own commitment becomes enough. That's a rare kind of freedom. The freedom that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself no matter what. And that's what long-term success really is. It's self-trust. It's knowing that no matter how many storms come your way, you won't fall apart because you've built something unshakable inside. Discipline gives you that inner strength. It's like building armor over time. Not flashy, not immediate, but solid, dependable, and lasting. The kind of strength that doesn't disappear when things get tough, but grows stronger because of it. When you live with discipline, you begin to see that success isn't about luck or talent. It's about longevity. It's about showing up every single day with purpose, even when no one's watching, even when no one's rewarding you. Because eventually, life rewards those who are consistent. Not the loudest, not the fastest, but the most committed. And when that reward comes, it's deeper than just a trophy or applause, it's peace. It's pride. It's knowing you didn't just win once. You became the kind of person who keeps winning. There's a quiet power in living this way. When you're disciplined, you're not thrown off by failure because you know how to start again. You're not afraid of slow progress because you've seen what persistence can do. You stop living for temporary highs and start living for long-term fulfillment. You realize that the best things in life, health, love, mastery, purpose, they all require the same thing, daily, disciplined effort. And maybe that's what true success is, not reaching a goal, but sustaining the kind of life that keeps you growing. Discipline turns success from a moment into a lifestyle. It ensures that when the applause stops, when the spotlight fades, you still keep moving forward. You still show up. You still grow. Because in the end, discipline is not about controlling your life. It's about freeing yourself from chaos. It's about building the habits, routines, and mindset that make your success inevitable and your focus unbreakable. It's about creating a foundation so strong that no matter what life throws at you, you stand firm. And that's what long-term success really looks like. Not the rush of victory, but the quiet satisfaction of knowing that you've built something that lasts, something that can't be taken away. Because when you build your life on discipline, you're not just chasing success. you are becoming it. And when you truly understand that discipline fuels long-term success, something inside you changes. You stop rushing, you stop forcing, and you start flowing with purpose. You begin to see that this entire journey, the struggles, the routines, the repetitions, has been shaping you into someone far stronger than the person who first started. And that brings us to the final truth, the one that ties it all together. Motivation starts you, but discipline finishes you. It's the bridge between your goals and your achievements, the force that carries you when the excitement of starting fades away. We've all felt that surge of motivation before, the spark that pushes us to begin something new. It feels powerful, electric, unstoppable. But motivation is like a wave. It rises high and then crashes down, and when it fades, most people stop moving. That's why the world is full of great starters, but only a few strong finishers. Because finishing requires more than passion. It requires discipline. It's that quiet, steady strength that says, I'll keep going even when I don't feel like it. It's the part of you that refuses to quit, even when the journey feels endless. Discipline is what takes your dreams out of your head and turns them into reality. Motivation might get you excited about a goal, but discipline is what drags you out of bed on the days when your body is tired and your mind is heavy. Motivation gives you a reason to start, but discipline gives you a plan to follow through. It's what keeps you writing the next page when your inspiration is gone. What makes you show up to practice when no one's clapping. What pushes you to take one more step, even when you can't see the finish line yet. Finishing takes grit. It takes the ability to keep showing up long after the excitement wears off. Because the truth is, the middle of any journey is the hardest part. That's when doubts creep in, when the results come slower, when you start wondering if it's all worth it. And that's where discipline saves you. It reminds you of the promise you made to yourself. It reminds you that this journey isn't about feeling good. It's about doing what's right. And when you lean into discipline during those moments, you start to build something even more valuable than success. You build self-respect. There's something powerful about finishing what you start. It changes the way you see yourself. It gives you confidence that no one can take away because you've earned it. You've proven, not to the world but to yourself, that you can keep a promise, that you can endure, that you can push through discomfort and come out stronger, and that feeling, that quiet pride, is worth more than any applause or recognition. The truth is, the world will often celebrate your beginning and your ending, but it will never see your middle. It won't see the late nights, the early mornings, the repetition, the discipline. But that's where the real magic happens. That's where you transform. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you show up when you could have quit, you're carving out a version of yourself that's unshakable. You're turning effort into excellence. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. Discipline doesn't just finish tasks. It finishes the old you, the one who relied on emotion, the one who waited for the perfect moment, the one who doubted themselves. Discipline replaces that person with someone stronger, calmer, and unstoppable. It turns chaos into structure and dreams into achievements. It turns I wish into I did. When you look at people who have truly made an impact, athletes, artists, leaders, creators, you'll notice they all have one thing in common. They didn't stop when it got hard. They didn't depend on motivation to carry them. They depended on discipline. They understood that success isn't about one big push. It's about 1,000 small, consistent steps. They knew that motivation might get them started, but only discipline could carry them to the finish line. And here's the beautiful part. When you reach that finish line, when you finally accomplish what you've been working toward, you realize something profound. It was never really about the goal. It was about the person you became on the way there. The late nights, the doubts, the discipline, they all built you. You realize that success isn't a destination. It's a reflection of your growth. So yes, let motivation spark your fire. Let it light that first flame. But don't depend on it to keep you burning. Feed that fire with discipline, with commitment, with patience, with repetition. Because when motivation fades, and it will, discipline is what keeps the flame alive. It's what guides you through the dark, what pushes you forward when your energy runs low, and what finally carries you across the finish line. And when you get there, when you've fought through the boredom, the fatigue, the setbacks, you'll look back and realize it wasn't motivation that got you here. It was the discipline that made you finish what you started. And that's when you'll truly understand that discipline isn't just something you do, it's who you've become, the kind of person who doesn't just dream about success, but lives it, earns it, and sustains it. The kind of person who doesn't just start strong, but finishes even stronger.